Hello, my amigos. Today we're going to be talking about, is your child's ABA effective? How do you know? Stay tuned and we're going to get right into it. So I often get asked, how do I know if my child's ABA or therapy is effective? And that's kind of a tricky question at first, but then when I think about it, it's really not very tricky. So let's just talk about it. So when your child is in an ABA program, the first thing that you are going to find that you have is a treatment plan. And on your treatment plan, you're going to have goals. And under your goals, you're going to have objectives. So I think that's probably the easiest way to measure if you think your child is making gains and making progress. You know, what's on your child's treatment plan? Is it things like, my child will be able to wait for 10 seconds, or my child will be able to identify family members? So a lot of these things that are on the child's treatment plan, you should start seeing him realizing those goals and making progress with those goals at home. You should start to notice a difference in his ability to wait, or his ability to identify, his sisters by name or by sign. You should just start to notice those things. And I think for most families, the thing that I hear the most is that they just notice that the child is doing more and trying more at home. And really, when you look at an ABA program, we want skills to generalize, meaning we want skills to happen all over the place. So if your child has a great day at the center, if your child has, say, a great day at Little Star, they also need to have a great day at home, at grandma's house, in the car, at Target. They should be able to do what they can do at Little Star everywhere else. It might take a little practice at first, but you should be able to see the skills transfer over. And so usually after about 3 weeks of intensive therapy is when we'll start hearing families say, like, wow, he can do this and he never was able to do this before, or he did something independent and he's never done this before. So you should be able to start to identify those things. I think another way to tell if your child's, ABA is really effective is just when you walk your child into the ABA center. Is he acting confident? Is he acting, happy to see who he's going to see? Does he kind of know the routine? Does he know, he's got to grab his backpack? And sure, some kids are going to need some prompting, but I think you also are looking for just a level of comfort and confidence when your child walks into the center and you know that he's feeling good about it. So as people, we all want to do things that make us feel good. We all want to be successful. So if your child is walking into a place and he's crying and not wanting to be there and, just all the time, dreads going, I would just think, wow, he's maybe not feeling all that success. Now, at first you might see some of that, whenever you're dropping your child off at a new school, a new daycare, any place new. That's kind of normal. But after a week or so, you really should see your child getting into the groove of it and really, walking in like, yeah, I'm enjoying my time here. And if they're enjoying their time someplace, you know that they're feeling good and that they are successful and they're getting a lot of rewards and they're happy. I think that's a really big one that sometimes we overlook. Now, I've sat through a lot of IEP meetings in my life, and I think the difference between an IEP and a treatment plan is really very glaring. I remember sometimes sitting in an IEP meeting and them just going through okay, this was one of Bradley's goal. He didn't make this goal. We're just going to put it on the IEP for next year. And after 3 or 4 of those things, I'd say wait a minute, you guys had all year long to work on this and he didn't accomplish it and it's going on to next year's IEP. The first thought that would come to my head is well, if I had a job and I was told that I had to accomplish all these things in a certain amount of time and I didn't, I'd get fired. But yet you can go to an IEP and your child can just have the same goals year after year after year and nobody gets fired. There's no guarantee that teaching has to be done. I think another way that's, ABA is really great is that every 6 months, your child's treatment plan has to be resubmitted to the insurance company. And the insurance company is not going to approve paying for another 6 months of treatment unless they have seen progress. So, if you submit your treatment plan, there's good progress being made, chances are the insurance company is going to accept it and say, yes, he's made progress. We're going to go ahead and authorize another 6 months. But again, if your treatment plans are being approved and you keep getting funding for your child's therapy, I think that's also like a really good indicator that he is making progress. I think another good way to just look at, is your child making progress? Are they doing new things? Are they learning one skill and in a way able to extrapolate it into another new skill, a skill that maybe isn't discreetly taught? Like, I know for my son, one of the skills was just kind of better planning out projects. And so just working on him on, here's how you do a project. There's a start, a middle, and an end. But then seeing that some of these things would extrapolate, and he was going on a trip, and 2 days before his trip, he'd say, hey, I need my suitcase. We never really taught him, like, hey, before you go on a trip, 2 days, get your suitcase out because you want to start packing. But we just saw that. So you'll start to see that children are learning how to learn, and that when they get these kind of base skills and do well, then their kind of brain is expanding a little bit, and they're able to just start doing a little bit more and more and more on their own. Another great way to check progress is just to talk to your child's BCBA or therapist and say, hey, has he gone through any retesting? Can you show me the data that you've collected? Is he learning more new colors? Just things like that. You can always talk to your child's provider, and they should be taking data and notes, and they can say, yes, when we started, he only had 7 words and now he's at 14 words, things like that. But again, you should be able to see those things as well. Like I said, you also should start to see skills start coming a little faster. If it maybe took your child 10 days to learn one color, it should, by the time you get to the second and third color, they should be able to start learning those things a little bit faster. So you'll see their rate of acquisition is a little faster. Now, those are kind of skills that we're talking about of acquisition and gaining skills. Progress could also be losing skills. You have a child who hits, you have a child who pinches or whatever. So you should start to see those skills decrease a little bit, and that's how you know your child's behavior intervention plan and he's making progress. So one of the things that we will see, or that we want to see, and I covered this in some of my how to form a habit video, but your child should start self-correcting. Like if they know that they're not supposed to pinch, you maybe will see them start to pinch and then pull away and then sign for help or something. So you should start to see those subtle things too, those self-correction things. And of course, that's the time to jump in and super praise them. You should really be able to see a difference. Like really 3 weeks, you should kind of start seeing things. By 6 weeks, you should definitely be noticing. And what's really exciting is when the holidays start coming up and you haven't seen grandparents for a while or aunts and uncles, they should start to tell you like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe Johnny's doing this. He didn't do this last year. You should start to see other people in your world comment on how much Johnny's learning and how much new things he's doing as well. So I think some of these will just give you kind of hints and things to look for. But if your child is going to, getting good quality therapy, you really should start seeing things right away. If you don't, go back and talk to your provider and just say, hey, how am I sure this is effective? Let's go through it. Let's make sure we're working on the right things that are meaningful to you that you're going to see at home. So I hope that helps and answers some of your questions. Thank you so much for taking time out and spending time with me today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Please subscribe and support this channel, and I will see you on our next Life with a Side of Autism. Goodbye, my Atnigos.